jangan busuk hati, jangan membenci, jangan iri. Jika turis ini bilang Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo guys, hari ini berjumpa lagi masih bersama saya dengan kabar yang baik-baik dan juga doa yang baik-baik. Selalu saya panjatkan kepada Tuhan yang Maha Kuasa untuk kita semua. Semoga kita dalam keadaan sehat, dalam keadaan baik-baik saja apapun itu kegiatan aktivitas yang kita lakukan, yang kita kerjakan di dalam maupun di luar rumah. Semoga juga diberikan kelancaran kemudahan oleh Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Amin amin ya robbal alamin. Oke, di sini ada satu lagi kabar yang sangat mengejutkan, yang sangat menggemparkan, guys. Saya nggak habis pikir dengan hal ini terjadi dan terjadi lagi. Nah, kali ini diakui oleh turis asing yang pernah datang ke Bali dan saat ini dia sedang berada di Malaysia. Persis dengan apa yang telah terjadi, yang pernah saya reaksi video yang sama seperti ini, guys. Pengalaman dia di Bali, lalu dia di Malaysia, dan dia menceritakan segala tentang Bali saat dia berada di Malaysia. Nah, hal ini terjadi lagi, guys. Pengalaman turis asing saat di Bali dan sekarang dia berada di Malaysia dan dia juga mengatakan hal itu. Nah, ini turis yang berbeda dengan keluhan yang berbeda lagi. Saya nggak habis pikir, guys, mengapa ini selalu dan selalu terjadi berulang-ulang. Kali ini, turis yang mengaku kecewa saat di Bali, bahwa dia katakan banjir menyulitkan dia untuk beraktivitas. Dan yang kedua, itu adalah dia dipaksa untuk berbelanja. Nah, ini yang menjadi tanda tanya besar, guys. Saya sebagai orang Indonesia pun nggak tahu, guys. Betulkah apa yang dikatakan oleh turis asing ini? Namun, dia katakan bahwa Malaysia berada di level yang sebaliknya. Dia mendapatkan apa yang dia inginkan selama ini saat berada di Malaysia. Saya nggak tahu, guys, apa yang dia maksud. Kok dia katakan di Bali itu banjir? Kok dia katakan bahwa orang-orang berjualan di Bali itu memaksa untuk menjual barang-barang tersebut? Saya baru mendengar itu, guys. Saya ini orang Indonesia. Selama ini saya pikir segala sesuatunya di Bali itu baik-baik saja. Ternyata ada pengakuan-pengakuan yang seperti ini. Satu keluhan dengan berbeda-beda kejadian dan peristiwa yang mereka alami saat berada di Bali. Dan mereka mengungkapkan semuanya saat mereka berada di Malaysia. Ini betul-betul aneh dan sulit untuk dipercaya.
Australia's favorite holiday island, Bali, for the first time. And look, I do get it, it does have some nice areas. Cheap drinks, relaxed energy. But under the surface, overcrowded roads, unreliable infrastructure, and beaches that honestly don't even stack up to what you already have at home. Thailand, amazing food, rich culture, but it's getting chaotic. Visa rules keep shifting, costs are creeping up, and it's getting harder than ever to build anything stable. And then there's Australia. For a lot of families, it's getting pretty hard to breathe. The grind, the prices, the pressure, it's all pushing people to look for more than just a holiday. They want a better life for themselves and their family. But what if there was a country that offered everything? Clean, modern cities that are way more convenient than back home. Tropical escapes that feel like a paradise. A diverse and welcoming culture. And most importantly, a cost of living that actually makes sense. In this video, I speak to two Aussie families. One is preparing to leave after finally reaching breaking point with life in Australia. The other, a well-known YouTube family who's already made the move and loving it. So what is this underrated country that we've all chosen? And why haven't more Australians caught on? Let's start with Anthony and Vicky.
Okay guys, you've been here for 2 weeks. What do you like most about Malaysia so far?
Well, there's a few things. The people is one, the climate is another. It's very warm and humid, as you can see by we're sweating here. The city itself is a very vibrant city. It's a big city. The fact that you can get around anywhere you like, the transport system is fantastic. But the number one thing for me is the crime. There's no crime here. It's very different to where we're from. In Western countries, obviously things are starting to unravel a little bit, and that's one of the really big appeals about being in Malaysia. We've been here a few times and there's no crime at all. Yeah, so we've really enjoyed our time here.
Great, I'm so glad you two are having an awesome time so far. Malaysia is underrated, so this is why I want to get Aussies and Westerners who come here for a holiday or maybe looking here to live and give their honest perspective. Let's talk about Southeast Asia. Malaysia is definitely underrated, so I want to know, in your guys' opinion, how does Malaysia compare to popular tourist destinations like Bali or Thailand? So if you speak to an Australian, where do they go on holiday? They go to Bali, they go to Thailand. I don't really know anyone who goes to Malaysia. So how do you think it compares to Bali particularly?
Oh, huge difference. So we've actually only been to Bali once, and it's like poles apart. So Bali is very much a party scene for young people, $2 bintangs, and people love to drink. It's really promoted there heavily, and all the Westerners go there for holidays. And not my scene at all. I didn't like it actually when I went. The one thing about Bali that we noticed was, remember I spoke about Penang being a little bit of a third world country when you get out of the resort? Well, Bali is like 100 times worse than that. It is actually really primitive as soon as you're out of the resorts. Whereas here, we don't have that. We've got a very family-orientated feel. They don't promote drugs or alcohol here, so there's very little party scene happening. I mean, there's party scene here, but not like Bali. Bali is just full-on 20-year-olds from Australia. Like I said, I didn't like it. We didn't fit in when we went there. So this is completely poles apart. If you want to come somewhere relaxed, family-orientated, like a no dickheads policy, if I can say that. That's what it's like here compared to other places. Thailand I haven't been before, but I do understand that it's more the same sort of scene. It's just nothing like that here.
Yeah, I agree, and I went to Bali for the first time a few months ago, and I'm 29, so I was still in my 20s. And yeah, I noticed that as well. I was pretty disappointed. I stayed in quite a few different areas in Bali, Ubud, near the beach, Uluwatu. I wanted to see the different areas, and I can see the positives. I see why people go there, but there's just no way it should be so popular if people knew about Malaysia. There are beautiful islands with pristine waters here in Malaysia as well on the east coast. You've got everything here. The English is much better in Malaysia. You can speak to everyone here. Pretty much everyone speaks English, whereas in Bali you will have, there's a lot of spelling mistake. Even though they have that big tourism industry, the English isn't fully up to par. And same issue in Thailand. Obviously Bangkok, you're going to get a fair bit of English, but I did notice in other areas of Thailand, you're going to be struggling if you don't speak Thai.
And that's another really important point. That's another thing. Everyone speaks English here. So the communication barrier, there is none. It's really good here. Everybody speaks English, whereas in Bali and other countries, Vietnam is a big one. A lot of people go to Da Nang, they like there, but no one speaks English there. So it's really hard to sort of cope, whereas here, you could fit into the community without any worries whatsoever.
Yeah, and it does make a difference, particularly if you stay for a long time. Of course, if you're just going on holiday for a few weeks, that's awesome. You don't need to speak the language. You want to get immersed in the local culture. But if you're living here long term and you think about all these things, it's just easier. Life is easier if you can speak the language. And of course, then you have more time to pick up Malay and Chinese. I've picked up some words, sikit, boleh. But, it's part of the game and it helps when people speak English. Vicky, what do you think Malaysia compares to other countries in Southeast Asia?
The traffic in Malaysia compared to Bali is poles apart. When we first went there and landed, I honestly thought I was going to die. I was actually laughing and crying at the same time. I don't know if it was because I was also tired, yes, it was Anthony's fault when I said not to grab the taxi, and we got dropped off in the middle of nowhere. We didn't even know where we were. That didn't go down too well. But what I also noticed in relation to Malaysia and Bali, the markets, they were both great price-wise, but the people here in Malaysia, specifically peddling, invite you to come in. They're not forceful. They are very conscious of personal space. But in Bali, I found they wanted to shove you into their area. Yes, I understand the hustle, but then the personal space was a bit too much for me. And if you've got children with you, it is very, very intimidating. I'm not saying that they would do anything, but it's just the personal space and just that little bit too forceful in Bali as opposed to here in Malaysia. Peddling, if you want a good deal, absolutely.
Yeah, great point, guys. So why do you think Malaysia is so underrated?
Oke, ini jangan marah ya guys ya. Jangan marah kepada mereka karena ini pengalaman pribadi mereka saat berada di negara-negara itu. Ya, dia pernah ke Bali dan juga berada di Malaysia saat ini. Mengapa dia katakan Bali begitu? Kita jangan marah. Seharusnya kita introspeksi diri, dapat membenahi ini. Mengapa kok turis merasa tidak nyaman? Mengapa mereka menganggap Malaysia itu adalah negara atau tempat wisata yang paling menyenangkan? Ini menurut selera mereka. Tapi dari situ kita sudah mulai. Seharusnya kita mulai untuk memperbaiki segala sesuatu agar membuat minimal mereka merasa nyaman lah. Dan dengan kenyamanan itu, mereka akan berdatangan lagi dan itu akan menambah jumlah banyaknya turis asing yang akan masuk ke Indonesia di beberapa tahun yang akan datang. Ya, Oke, lanjut. Lai.
And I've been trying to get my head around this. Obviously, I enjoy making this content, and I keep saying it's underrated. But why? Why don't Australians want to come here? Do they not know about it? What do you think the reason is?
Well, again, you just nailed it. Everyone in Australia talks about going to Thailand and Phuket.
Yep.
Or Bali.
Yep.
No one ever talks about going to Malaysia. Yes, Thailand's got better beaches. Bali's the party scene. That really attracts people. Whereas this country is completely different from that. I just think it's not promoted widely in Australia. If people came here once and tried it, I swear they would fall in love with the place and want to stay here because it's just such a beautiful place. Look at these people riding bikes. I mean, it is just fantastic community. It's just got that feel about it. So the best way to describe it, like Australia was 40 years ago when everyone used to help each other. The real community spirit, which we do not have anymore. I guess it's just one of those things that we're just, you don't hear anyone talk about going to Malaysia. So I think it's a hidden gem, and I don't think it's going to stay like that for too long. I personally think within probably the next 24 months, the standard of living costs get worse, and a lot of Westerners are going to start deciding they need to move. And if they ever come here, I think they'll decide to stay here because it's, compared to those countries, personally, I would stay here every day of the week.
Basically, Anthony, you're saying my content, my videos are on the right track.
Absolutely. With your help, I found you from having the same idea. You're the first person I found a year and a half ago when we first thought about moving because we understand where this is heading. That's the big thing, guys. I think a lot of people, if you're watching this in Australia, a lot of people think this is all just going to blow over. It's not. It's going to get worse and worse. Governments around the world are not there trying to make this better. It's going to get a lot worse. And they might start researching Malaysia with the help of yourself instead of going to other places like Thailand because Bangkok now is really dear. Bali is now westernised prices. All the cheap areas. Here in Malaysia, we do not have that problem. We've got an oversupply of property, both rentals and to buy. So prices are never going to skyrocket. So if you want to buy here for an investment, you're not going to make any money. If you want to come here to survive and have a really good standard of living, you'll do very well here.
Completely agree. So take action, guys. I'm not saying you need to move, but do invest in researching and learning about these different places. Have a backup plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Malaysia is one of the top places. Vicky, do you have anything to add to that? Why is Malaysia underrated and why don't Australians come here?
I'm not too sure about underrated, but just to describe everything as a whole, somebody from Australia, Malaysia's a hidden treasure.
Love it. Speaking of moving to Malaysia, a lot of you are travelers, long-term travelers, digital nomads, business owners, or early retirees. What do you think of the expat scene in general in Malaysia?
Yeah, it's certainly growing, especially if you're a remote worker like myself.
Yep.
So basically I work from my laptop and I can work anywhere in the world. Certainly growing. We've run into a few expats, quite a few, and including yourself. And we make a habit of it. If we know someone is in Malaysia or around here or Penang, we contact them. We met up with a lovely group in Penang. There was a lot of British people there. All of them were expats. Their stories were the same thing. Sick of the Western society and the standard of living. Most of it was based around work. They were working 2 jobs to survive, and they were just saying, why am I doing this when we can come here for a quarter of the cost and live well and eat good food, drink clean water, have everything you need at your fingertips.
Would you recommend other Aussies or Westerners visit or move to Malaysia?
100%. I suggest visiting here first and taking a look around and spending a good week or 2 here. The value for money is unparalleled, so it's well worth the trip. You'll see exactly what we've been talking about on this video is exactly true. The cultures here, the food is just phenomenal. The value you get as an Australian coming here is unparalleled. You'll have a great time. I suggest, really highly recommend coming for a visit, and from there you'll see that you'll fall in love with the city. Highly recommend having a look. If you're interested in moving, just check it out.
Yeah, that's it. Come here, check it out. It's not for everyone, but for most people, I think you'll be very surprised. Vicky, what's the final verdict?
You have to come here. Absolutely.
We are planning to move here in the future. We're unsure of the timeline, but hopefully a year or 2. We'll just wait and see how we go. But I absolutely love it here. And if I had my way, I'd be here now.
Well, that was quite a
Oke, guys. Jangan busuk hati. Jangan membenci. Jangan iri. Jika turis ini bilang Malaysia begini. Dan mengapa kok kita begitu? Kita harus apa? Apa yang kita lakukan? Apa yang kita rancang? Dan apa yang akan kita rencanakan? Secara fakta dan data mengatakan bahwa setiap tahun turis datang ke Malaysia itu hingga 25 atau sampai 30 jutaan banyaknya jumlah orang yang datang ke Malaysia setiap tahun. Sedangkan kita di Indonesia, walaupun negara kita lebih besar, berkali-kali lipat dari Malaysia, tapi jumlah turis kita itu hanya setengahnya. Hanya setengahnya turis yang datang ke Malaysia dan kita hanya setengahnya. Seharusnya ini menjadi perbaikan dan parameter lagi terhadap negara Malaysia. Sebenarnya apa yang sudah kita buat selama ini? Mengapa turis yang datang ke Malaysia itu tidak semuanya datang ke Indonesia juga? Apa yang harus kita ciptakan? Apa yang harus kita lakukan? Padahal sejatinya kita tahu apa sih yang tidak ada. di Indonesia ini. Wisata apa yang tidak hadir, yang tidak lahir dan tidak tercipta di sini? Seperti yang ada di Malaysia. Malaysia punya Langkawi, Indonesia punya Raja Empat, punya Bali, dan juga berbagai wisata-wisata lainnya termasuk Lombok. Ya banyak sekali wisata Indonesia. Tapi mengapa mereka memilih Malaysia, 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 dan Malaysia lagi? Oke lah kalau mereka lebih pilih Malaysia. Tapi setelah itu diharap mereka datang ke Indonesia. Bagaimana caranya? Apa yang harus kita lakukan? Sebenarnya itulah yang harus dikerjakan oleh kita saat ini, termasuk pemerintah bekerja sama, karena SDM kita ini juga harus bersahabat dengan para turis ini, guys. Buat mereka semua merasa nyaman. Itu salah satunya. Yang kedua adalah infrastruktur. Ya, dia keluhkan bahwa di Bali mungkin ada beberapa titik yang sedang dilanda banjir pada masa dia datang di sana. Tapi saya yakin di Bali itu tidak semua terlanda banjir ya guys ya, hanya beberapa titik rendah saja di sana. Namun secara keseluruhan Bali itu memang sangat cantik, sangat indah, sangat populer, dan semua ya termasuk artis-artis Hollywood itu sudah masuk ke Bali. Hampir semua dari mereka, bahkan beberapa kali. Tapi bukan hanya Bali saja. Bukan hanya Bali saja, objek wisata di Indonesia itu ada ratusan bahkan ribuan jumlahnya di setiap daerah, di setiap titik itu ada objek wisata. Mengapa tidak dapat kita manfaatkan secara maksimal? Apa yang kurang? Apa yang harus dilengkapi? Coba kita lihat Malaysia, apalagi kita lihat Thailand. Mereka itu mampu, negara yang tidak sebesar Indonesia, tapi lihat bagaimana mereka membuat infrastruktur, bagaimana memikat semua hati para pelancong itu datang berbondong-bondong untuk ke negara mereka. Apa yang mereka lakukan, apa yang mereka buat. Bahkan di Singapura, negara setitik yang hanya dipandang titik saja jika dibandingkan dengan Indonesia. Jumlah turis wisatawannya itu jauh lebih banyak daripada Indonesia. Seharusnya ini perlu ada perbaikan menyeluruh tentang pariwisata di Indonesia ini. Jika kita berdiam diri dan hanya melakukan sedikit demi sedikit, tentu kita akan semakin jauh tertinggal dengan negara-negara lainnya. Sudahlah kita banyak hal kita tertinggal, pariwisata kita juga tertinggal. Padahal potensi itu jauh lebih besar di Indonesia. Ingat, jauh lebih besar di Indonesia. Di mana tempat yang tidak ada objek wisata di Indonesia? Coba sebutkan dengan saya. Ya, di Sumatera, ya dari Aceh sampai ke Lampung itu ada ratusan jumlah pariwisata di Indonesia. Ya, belum lagi di Bali, belum lagi di Jawa, belum di Sulawesi, Kalimantan, Papua. Banyak, guys. Tapi mengapa potensi itu tidak tereksplor dengan baik? Ini yang menjadi pertanyaan saya dan juga banyak orang Indonesia. Mengapa kok tidak banyak? Contohnya di tempat saya ini, guys. Ya, di tempat saya ini saya jarang sekali melihat turis-turis dari berbagai negara. Ada mungkin hanya satu-satu saja. Tapi kalau coba lihat di negara lain, coba lihat ke Malaysia, coba lihat ke Singapura, itu setiap hari akan dilihat, akan tampil wajah-wajah turis amat saleh yang ada di daerah-daerah mereka. Itu membuktikan bahwa daerah tersebut, negara tersebut sangat friendly, bersahabat bagi mereka para wisatawan asing. Harusnya kita juga begitu. Tapi kita belum dapat terjadi hal demikian. Tentu ada perbaikan di masa yang akan datang untuk menjadi kita juga dapat bersaing dengan mereka. Baik, demikian dari video aku. Semoga video ini bermanfaat bagi kita semua. Dan aku mohon maaf jika ada kesalahan kata, kesalahan sikap, dan semua mohon dimaafkan. Dan aku akhiri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.